Hello, people of the internet. My name is Grace, and I'm originally from Nigeria. I have been living in the UK now for the past 28 years, and I'm a mother of three and also a wife. The purpose of me joining the community on the net is just to see really if there's anything I can do just to, share my life experience, especially in the UK, and of course to just contribute my own part really, if there is any way that I'm able to help all the newcomers, and especially into the country, and generally to speak about different aspects of life, from parenting, parenthood, to career in the UK, maybe a little bit of religion and life experiences, whatever it is really. And I think through your comments as well and contribution, I might actually be able to answer some of your questions, and basically we do take it from there. Yes, I am hoping this would, obviously continue to, grow into, different kind of angles where we can all contribute and come together as a community. And if anybody benefits, that's fine. And I'm quite open as well. Always willing to learn from others, from your contribution and comment from time to time. I really do appreciate that. So if you can, as time goes by, subscribe and like this video. Yes, that would be very much appreciated indeed. So today I thought I'd just like to start by just, putting out there some what I consider as a word of encouragement, and maybe some tips really that I think will benefit anybody planning to come to the UK, or if you're already here, if you're able to benefit from anything I do share, that would be useful. First of all, before I go on, I would just like to put it out there that everything I do say or touch upon is just going to be based on my own personal experience. So this is nothing to do with wanting to sway anybody to behave in some specific way, or change your ways, or change your mind on anything. It's just some sort of encouragement, support, and if anyone should find it useful, then I'm just very happy to hear your experience as well, if that is the case. So, as I said, I'm originally from Nigeria, and coming to the UK, I actually retrained into going into nursing. So, I have been a registered nurse now for the past 20, almost 20 years now in the UK practicing. So, and about 14 years ago, 14 years ago, I actually moved away from, frontline nursing into what we call health visiting, which is the specialist community public health nurse. So I do enjoy my job. I love it. I love nursing and any aspect of caring, and just dealing with people and supporting them. It's like a kind of second nature to me, I would like to say. So that is just a little bit about myself. As I said today, I just like to start. I'm new to this as well, so please do bear with me. This is my first video actually, so let's see how it goes. So if you are moving from any African kind of culture, really any African countries, into the UK, and to come and join the community in diaspora, I think there are a few things really that you just need to bear in mind, and hopefully to make your stay a little bit more enjoyable, and to avoid some of the challenges that could impact your personal experience. And especially if you want to go into what we call care sector, which seems to be one of the most popular areas really that most of our people kind of do go into. And actually some would have I live in the UK, as I say, so some of the terms I'm going to be using is going to be obviously linked to the community in the UK. So we do what the government, or is it do what they call COS scheme, which people do have access to from their home country before they come in, and some do have the opportunity as well of obviously reaching out for sponsorship once they come in as students or whatsoever. So If you are in that sector, then this is basically for you. And all I want to say, there are a few things that I just put down that I thought you could find that might kind of help you. So it doesn't really matter, really, if you're working in the community, private sector, or you are working within the NHS. So I think there are a few things that I just like to flag up. First of all, I think it's very useful if you can familiarize yourself to know the difference between your workplace kind of rules and principles, as in like how things are done, and the culture of the place. It's there's always a difference between the culture of a place where you work and what the rules and regulations are. So I think it's useful really to familiarize yourself with that, just to see the way, excuse me, things are being done within your area of practice. And the way to do this is just to put yourself out there, basically, to be approachable, to be friendly. Don't be too afraid to ask. And I know as well that sometimes it can be, so the issue can even be as basic as not understanding what people are saying to you, maybe through very kind of very thick accent, or depending on the area. So take your time to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. You are within your right. And to be perfectly honest, people generally, from my own personal experience, again, don't really take offense or look down on you for doing that. What I think is actually wrong is when you go off to do things without having the clarifications of what is actually expected of you. That is where the danger could be. So please do ask if you're not sure. Very, very important you understand that the culture of where you work is going to be different really from the rules and regulations that are there for you to follow. So, and again, seek to be a friend, being approachable, being kind, just willing to help. It goes a long way, really. And I know sometimes it doesn't matter, how well behaved you are, how approachable you are, how kind you are. Things can go wrong too. So I will touch upon that later. But at least, starting on from, just try as much as possible to put yourself out there. And like we always say, nothing, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, treat other people like you will love yourself to be treated. So seek to be a friend, be approachable, be positive. Let your countenance as well speak for you, because body language is very important in everything we do, especially if you're working with people. So people can read your body language, and the last thing you want is for you not to really mean anything negative, but through your body language, it may come across like that, and that might actually have an impact into how people do deal with you. And I must also touch upon this, that when we do preach against something, when we do kind of look down on discrimination, prejudice, we need to be very careful as well not to have such attitude ourselves. So we need to keep positive perception. It doesn't matter whatever you've heard about Europe, about UK before you come on board. Just try as much as possible to go off with your own very non-biased attitude, and not having any sort of negative perception that could actually impact on your work. So try to be free-minded, and be open as well. So that is very, very important. And try not to mask. What I mean by masking is that, I think I actually said something about it earlier on, not understanding something, not knowing what people are trying to tell you, or where they're coming from, or it might be a rationale behind why they are actually doing something the way they are. And you don't understand that, but then you just, oh, it's better for me if I just keep quiet and I'll just go along, and it doesn't really matter. To be honest with you, you might get away with that for some time, but I can assure you sooner or later it will backfire. So it's always better not to mask. If you need to learn, try and take your time to learn. Humility is very important. When I'm talking about humility again, I would like to clarify that I'm not, because some people actually, so it's easy to mistake humility for stupidity, that you're a yes person. That is not the kind of humility I'm saying. You can be the most beautiful, the most successful person in the whole world, and still have the humility in you, and the ability to be able to learn from others, and see every opportunity really that comes your way, as a chance for you to learn. Humility can go a long way for you to be able to ask whosoever you're working with, to show you the rope, just to, to help you out. That is very, very important as well. So, having said all of this, we are aware that sometimes it doesn't matter how good you are in what you do and how open-minded, honest, hardworking, charitable and, caring you are, things can still go wrong. So my advice to all our newcomers, or if you're already in the industry, is to put in place really some fundamental things that could help you for you to be able to at least, have that little bit of support network, that if things should go wrong, nobody prays for that, nobody wants that, nobody actually aim for that to happen to them, but at least you do have a bit of a backup and support network aside from your family and friends as well, which is, we know, very important. My first kind of advice would be for you to join a union. You see, when you come to the shore of Europe, the rules and regulations is what is keeping, the system in place. And we all have to do it. I mean, very, very rare you will find, especially registered nurses or teachers or whatever, any civil servant that wouldn't belong to a union. So very, very important. For the sake of, I don't know, £10, £15, I don't think it's up to £20. I myself, I think I pay about £16 something, £17, per month. It is worth paying, and I will recommend that for each and every one of you. So go out there, find the best one. You can speak to your colleagues, that is in the same area where you're working. So there are quite a few one. If you're a registered nurse, the RCN is there, Union, Unite, and different other ones out there. But please do try to do that, because if things should go wrong, they are going to be your first point of contact, especially in being able to fight your right. If you've got a case really that you feel you've been basically discriminated against, or you're not being treated fairly for one reason or the other, very, very important you do have the support of your union. And when that happens as well, you will find that they, the good, if you do have especially good, representative, they will be the one to fight your corner. They will be the one to be that mouthpiece for you in order to be able to, deal and negotiate, or even deal with your employer in such a way that hopefully things wouldn't go too bad for you. And what I'll say as well is that don't wait until it is too late. I have actually got one or two experiences of people that you can see when they actually tell you their story. It's very sad what they've been going through. And unfortunately, they left it a little bit too late before they contacted the union. Union, they act like a kind of deterrent, even to the employers. For the employers, they do act as, because then they know, once they know that there's some kind of regulatory body that is keeping an eye on the way they're treating you and what you're going through, the much more likely is, the tendency is there for them to play fair, or at least to, try to, be more careful. Very, very important. But if you leave it too late, even sometimes they might have been able to gather some evidence against you, or to, build up a case, against you, that even your union wouldn't be able to help. So, but if this is happening to you and you think things are not going well, despite, you got to be able to prove yourself and to have your own evidence as well that you have done what you are supposed to do. You are meeting up to the demand of your job. If that is the case, you can just, speak to your union, and I mean as soon as you can. Other things you could do to help yourself is by keeping a diary. Very, very important you keep a diary. So for every little thing that you think, okay, this is a little bit, off the mark, just make sure that you date it, you write it down, little one or two sentences there, here and there, because you never know when this is going to speak up for you, in any circumstances, really, taking your case forward if they need be. As I said, nobody prays for this, but I have encountered a lot of people that are, going through stuff like this, which is quite, which is quite sad. There are usually two ways they can take you as employer. They can take you through the route of disciplinary, or capability route. With the disciplinary route, we're talking about if you've actually done something, usually massive could be, even something that it can even be criminal nature, hopefully not. Things like that, it will have to be, disciplinary route that they will take you, and of course, as I said, your union can support you in that as well if there is any case. If there is no case, hopefully they'll fight for you, and you can get on with your life. And if it's a capability route, is another one. If they just don't think that you are up to the mark, you're not doing your job properly, and they just don't think you're a good, I don't know, for example, carers or whatever it is, that you just can't do the job, or you haven't got the right attitude, so they can take you through the capability route. And again, speaking to your union in time, especially if this is something that you want to dispute, you don't think you've been fairly treated, or the allegations are not, tenable from your own perspective anyway. It is always useful for you again to speak to your union. And but whatever you do, I always say to people, even with the support of your union, if you got a good union rep, they will be able to advise you. Hopefully, things won't go too bad, but sometimes if it does, what I always say to people is that try and speak to your union, and as much as possible, try for them not to sack you. Just try as much as possible not to get dismissed by them. And again, I am just speaking from personal opinion here. I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm not asking you, advocating for you to walk away from your employment. I'm just trying to kind of highlight the dangers of being dismissed. To be dismissed from a job in this country is quite massive, because when that happens to you, for you to even get a good reference to kind of carry on, it's almost impossible sometimes. And it's almost as if you got to start from the scratch again. For example, if you've been there for three years, 4 years, and you get sacked, you're not going to be able to use them, because when you get sacked, they are literally telling you, well, they dismiss you basically. And it's always, that's a tough one really to come back from. But if things are going so bad, and you think that your your place of work is becoming so toxic that you consider your own future, and then you think to yourself, I don't think I'm going to be able to hack it and continue in this employment. Speak to your union. It might just be that the best thing for you to do is to step down and to resign. And I know, again, that is a tough call, especially if you got bills to pay and family, of course, to feed. Again, there's a disclaimer going out there. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just trying to say, try to weigh up all your options. And if you got a choice of seeking another job, especially with the help of your union rep, negotiating for them to give you at least a reference, even if it's just a basic one, I think that is a preferable option for most people. And yeah, because again, going back to one of the detrimental effect, that if you think about it, if you do get sacked or dismissed from an employment in the UK, most of the application forms you're going to fill now is going to be asking you, there's one box there that will always ask you, have you ever been dismissed? If you take that, already you've already caught your chance enough. So, and of course, people start asking questions. Unfortunately, it's not many people that would want to hear your story, that this is what happened, this is what. So really, it's always useful to, weigh the options, look at your situation. If you think there is just no way forward for you, if there is any way at all, start looking for another job. Speak to your union to negotiate for them to give you a kind of a reference that will mean that you can still get on with your life. So I think that is pretty much what I would like to share today, as a kind of a taster to my contribution on the net. And yeah, so just to cap it off, what I would say is to please seek the support of your families, of your friends. It's very, very important. We are living in a country where you can't just go to auntie or uncles and no parties every weekend, like in most African countries. So your mental health is very important. Go out there for a brisk walk every now and then. Do what will make you happy. Yes, it might be tough, it might be hard, but I always say to people, the longest day of our life is only 24 hours, and no job is worth, obviously killing yourself for. Not at all. Especially if you go about things in a, in a wise way. You can, obviously stay away from a lot of, challenges. So, but your mental health is very, very important, because whether you're going to fight through your union or you're going to move on to another employment, if your mental health is on the floor, it's going to be very, very hard for you to pick yourself up and go on from there. So yeah, I wish everybody, going through this all the best. And yeah, I'll be back again, to share my thoughts on other things really in future. So thank you so much. If you've enjoyed this video, just click like and subscribe. Yeah, from time to time, I will be back again to, yeah, continue. Thank you very much.